And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and press the like button right now. Press the like button. And subscribe to the channel. Share the video. I'm going to go over my points about man. What's man? Manhood. And a little bit about the concept of what we call religion. So man, what is a man? And what is man? So there's two concepts. The thing is, when we're dealing with English, so you gotta realize the language that you speak is very confusing. This is not one of our original languages. Okay? I mean, we need to understand that because these folks, they use the same word, exact same sound, exact same spelling, and it has various concepts. Okay, depending on how it's used. So if you're talking about man, and here's a functional definition of man. Now, when you're talking about man, you're talking about male and female. Okay? Man, male and female. What is man? Man is life, the highest, with the highest potential to organize matter. And a self-aware being with the highest potential to organize matter that we can detect and see. Alright? So that's what we're dealing with when we're talking about man. It's not dog. It's not porpoise. It's not whale. It's not roach. This is what man is. Organized, self-aware mind. When you get to God, then you're dealing on a level where I don't want to go into right now. But we're just talking about man, people. Easy for us to deal with. It's easy for us to deal with here. So now when you're talking about manhood, now the male is the masculine. We shouldn't have arguments on it. See, we got to start on a foundation. Foundations, I mean, if you can't agree on foundational basic stuff, you are a person who is confused. And the thing is, in this universe, we're able to organize things whatever way we want, really. It's almost whatever way we want to organize within a wide range of possibilities. Now, the thing is, in this universe, we have a principle of competition. So the thing is, if you organize your definition of manhood in a way that will not be able to dominate my definition of manhood, then your self and your lineage will become servants or subsidiaries or dominated by my lineage. So that is the cost of not getting the definition right, of not agreeing to the proper definition. When I say proper definition, this is the winning definition. This is the definition that will allow you and your lineage to thrive. Okay? That's what it's about in this world. All this stuff that's we're talking about, we're organized, we suffer as black people because we think everything is individual choice. And it is. But when you make what's called the wrong choice, you suffer because others have made a more efficient and a more practical choice than you have. You decided that your man can, operate in a way that is not powerful, that is not gaining dominion, that is not controlling its destiny. That's the kind of man that Black America and a lot of black groups, indigenous groups, have been taught. You've been taught that men are the same as women, and it's just training. Physically, that's wrong, and practically, it just doesn't work. It's not the most efficient way to define manhood. Now, currently, we're dealing with your main competition. Keep in mind, if we were deer or rams or some type of hoofed animal, our competition, the way we would compete would be locking horns. We were bears. The way we would compete is wrestling. We were lions. We would fight over females. But we're human beings. Our greatest power is organizing matter, is knowledge, is our brain. So we are engaged within competition with other groups of humans. That's what we're engaged in competition at, because that is a principle in this universe. If you don't play the game of competition, you do not survive. And if you do survive, you don't thrive. I'll say it that way. You don't survive happily. You survive in a state of being, which is not you're not in a satisfactory state of being. This is very important because the bottom line is we have to have clarity. We have to have clarity about what we want. Our job is to take power. See, this is what I'm saying. So the thing is, and I'm saying that because of this. There are defined roles for masculinity and femininity. If the female has to display her ability and to exercise her ability to be masculine, which she has the ability to be masculine and express masculinity, but her body is more efficient being feminine. Literally, it's more efficient being feminine. And it does the group more. It makes us a more powerful group if the female is allowed to be feminine. And the masculine body is allowed to be masculine. And this is very important. It goes into your chemistry, it goes physically, and it goes into an intangible dynamic, which is spiritually. It allows us to relate to each other better. So this is what I'm saying. So I'm just getting us to try to understand some of these concepts because, the thing is, I see black folks on the internet arguing about manhood. Oh, a woman can't teach a man to be a man. Single mothers is the problem with the whole world. Single mothers, you got to realize that we are being dominated by a man. A group of men. Now they can smile in your face. I'm sorry for some of you guys who get offended because of the white thing, the racial situation. But when you ignore that racial category situation, you are only hamstringing yourself and your lineage because you're tricking yourself. You're deceiving yourself. That point, the racial situation, is the point of your dominance. If you can't address it, then you can't overcome it. You will not overcome dominance, being dominated, by compromising facts. You can't do it. You could try to ignore these things, but the fact is you're being dominated by a group of people for hundreds of years. And millions of you are frustrated because of this dominance. And when you try to ignore, as if you're the first one to come up with the idea of ignoring racism, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You continue to be, your resources can be taken. You can work hard all your life. You can believe something, and then your children can be, taken away from you or misdirected from your teaching. Because you don't control your schools, you try to organize your community is in disarray, you're arguing amongst yourselves because of misinformation, and you don't agree on basic concepts. You don't even know what a man is. You're arguing about what a woman is. You're arguing about all these different homosexuals and genders. You're arguing about whose job is it to protect and provide. You're arguing about child support. And then you ignore the elephant in the room. You literally think you are your own worst enemies. Why do you think that? Because you've been trained to think that, because this man controls your education, most of it. This man controls he controls the food that comes into your neighborhood, most of it, because you don't grow your own food, most of us. He controls the medicine that you're given. He controls the news, the things that you believe. He controls what you consider facts and what you consider fiction. He dominates in those areas. Now, he doesn't have complete control, but he has a huge influence that you should not feel comfortable with another man telling you your history. See, these are foundational concepts, because if you teach your children something, all somebody got to do is come behind you. If you're not the authority, you haven't, and your group has not controlled the conditions, and you guys, somebody come behind you and say, oh, well, who gives your dad the authority to teach you? How did your dad know that? What makes him right? They ask these questions, confuse the shit out your kids, misdirect them. So anyway, that's what I want to get in. The religion is, we got to understand, these things that we call religion nowadays, our concepts, that was considered as sacred as the word science is to them. To us. If I show you scientific facts, so-called facts, and we know that scientists tell us that dinosaurs existed, but a full skeleton of a dinosaur never was found. There's a lot of so-called science and scientific theory that many people accept the facts as facts, like Darwinism, theory of evolution, but they don't tell you that based on conditions, this evolution, which is true in a degree, but it can go backwards and forward. So it's a lot of stuff that they propagandize. That's why it's still theories, but we consider it facts of science. So you got to realize that the people back then, these concepts, these are ways that they communicated, and there is wrong in the way it was taught, but you have to understand that there's correctness in there. There's principles in there that you cannot throw away. Otherwise, you set your lineage back thousands of years. Those are thousands of years of concepts that you've thrown away just because you found a few lies. You got to understand how to find the misconceptions versus, or based on what they were trying to convey, the information that these people were trying to convey. So anyway, I'm not trying to be very long, but I just want us to think about this. Manhood. Who defines what a man is? Is a man a practical thing? Or is a man, now keep in mind, we're talking about English language, because, in another language, the sound of what man is totally different. And like what you call a abuela or abuelo, or anyway, I forgot what the man is in Spanish, but there's various languages. Latin, there's Punjab, there's Arabic. These are different concepts. These are different didactic sounds of man. Okay, so we got to understand there's more than one language on this planet than English. So what is what is man physically? What is it in the universe? What is man? Who defines that? And how do we tell a good man from a bad man? Is it in your function, or is it in how you treat somebody? See, so these are some of the concepts. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Like and comment. Let me know what you think man is. If a man is taught that he should look for power and dominion, in his environment, in his home, in his reality, in his city, on his country, and if that man cannot get power and dominion, why shouldn't that man be in control? Why shouldn't that man be in control? If you take power and control away from a man, what are you making him? Is he supposed to be satisfied? If a white man can have power and dominion and control in a legal system, but the black man does not have that kind of power, authority, and control, his woman is given that kind of power and control. Who's doing it though? Who's doing it? Because one of the fakes that black men, tend to go for, and these are men that say that, black women don't deserve respect, don't deserve protection, and don't deserve being provided for. These men who believe this stupid, idiotic mindset, these guys, they don't understand who their true enemy is, who's moving these strings. That's who you have to attack, because your job is to get your woman to submit to you willingly, and you can do that easy. You can do that, but you have to perform. So this is what I'm going to close with this here. Here's a couple ways to solve this problem of manhood. Black men, it is your responsibility to be welfare. You should not be satisfied with any of your family members, your female family members especially, being on welfare from the state. I know we're in situations, but that is not something that you should be satisfied with. Our job also is to grow our own food, now you may not do it personally as an individual, but you should be part of a group that is creating environments where we control our food source, or at least businesses. That's manhood. These are the type of endeavors that you begin to control as a group, and to be able to provide for your own members. Then you become man. Then you become a dominant man. Okay? And then you'll be able to defend. Defense is another aspect. Once you control something and you can defend something, you are considered a man. And the thing is, and when I'm not talking about male, I'm not talking about human, I'm talking about in the spiritual form of what is a competing man on this planet. And when I say man in that sense, I'm talking about male and female, because you're a group. So a competing man on the planet, for example, the Chinese group, this is man and female. They control their stuff and they look to dominate others. You see, in other groups, Indians, You know, there's other black countries. There's different groups on this planet, countries. That's what our goal should be. That is the trajectory of the winners. Now, there's some people who are not going to understand those type of things, and so those are going to end up, as time goes on, those will be the workers, and that's fine. We need workers because we don't want to hire other groups and empower them to do our work, because that's not how we roll. But anyway, that's it. Super Mike out. Like, share the video, and comment